Good morning, y'all. Listen, we are happy, we are blessed, and we in this BI trying to get to it this morning. I have a lot of fun things to talk about. We're going to be here a while today. Get ready to have a good, fun conversation about a lot of fun things. We're going to save the in depth conversation about Harris until later because we're still gathering information, actually. And part of this talk is we're going to talk about the delegates and the Democratic convention and how the nomination is supposed to even happen. Anyways, while we getting started, I got to do the due diligence, but in fact, let me pull this thing back up because I have me my nice script to keep me on track here. Boom. Thank you. Oh man. So what's more important for me here that I wanted to talk about today is what does this whole situation mean for other races down ballot, Congress races, state races, Biden's exit, Harris's ascension, Trump and Vance. What does this mean for the races more locally, and how will those things impact y'all? Brenda Battle got new signs out, and so David Sampson got to get back out here campaigning if he ain't already. Uh, we also going to be talking about national news because there's some real junk that's going on with Russia and Putin. They now Putin is dealing with the Israel conflict now. It's getting crazy. And shoot, of course we know that we got the world's largest displacement conflict, this 10-year war over in Sudan with Khartoum. We know we got black people being killed in Africa, and we need in the Congo civil wars there. We need to put spotlights on the Kenyan youth that are out here in these streets rebelling against William Ruto. We got to do a lot of work. So we're going to be talking about the national news too. And of course, we got to get in these streets. But y'all already know as we come back to the due diligence, you got to be shopping online. Boom. There we go. And Tate Week. Oh, man. Tate Week starts tomorrow. Everything's going to be 25% off when you use this code Tate 2025. You use this code Tate 2025, you get 25% off on all of your oh no, it's going to be 2024. Anyway, shop online. We appreciate y'all. What's more, we'll monetize on this platform. So if you like all the exciting content that we bring you, please send us some stars and we can get some little bit of revenue generating and we can then make some more exciting content. All right, y'all. Let's jump right into this stuff. Let's do this Wednesday recap. We're gonna go to the Albany Forward group. Oh man, I forgot to share the live. Share the live, y'all. Hold on. Catch up with me. Bam. And it won't let me share the live. Am I not live? Thank you. I tell you what about the internet. Sometimes it don't want to work with you. Make you look like you don't know what you doing. It's you. Because we are live right now. Boom. All right. I'm caught up. So let me share this screen with y'all. Boom. We're in the Albany Forward group, and we're going to take a look back at what we missed. Groucho posted this, I'll let it stay. But if y'all missed Miss Nexus show yesterday, you missed a good one. We had a chance to talk to the Georgia Queens, Miss Georgia. What was this nice lady's name? Lulu Louisaire and Miss Carrington Manos from I'm not sure they're from, but they're the Georgia Queens. We got a chance to talk to them. Go check out that interview. It was exciting. Janita Lane birthday. They had a show. Shooting. Of course, y'all know the Summer Splash 5K is going on July 27th. And I've been going live on the radio talking about this sucker, talking about everything. We got the Adult Field Day that is being planned by Albany Cares Group. We got, man, it's a long list of fun things there. So, and then I was honored at the East International Banquet. Shout out to that. Shout out to Lawrence McCray and the East International Trojans. Man, look, there's some exciting pictures and things posted in there. So if y'all want to take a look at that, please join the Albany Forward group. It is where you need to be if you want to see what's going on in the city. Oh man, yeah, the pictures from the back to school bash in there. Listen, it's where you want to be. So let's see, what else are we talking about here today? That's really it. I want to jump right on into the meat of it, because that's in these streets and Wednesday recap at the same time. Yep, that's it. We can jump right into all this fun stuff. Let's get into this politics, y'all. Cause this is the whole premise of today's talk for the most part. That's what we're gonna spend a lot of time. And I got some references that I want to pull up, and we're gonna start just really delving into what this means, because we know that we've got let me go ahead and add this up here. We know we've got Biden dropped out. We got Harris that is ascending, but we don't even really know exactly what the process is. There's now some talks about some states suing because of Biden's exit and Harris's ascension without having to go through a primary process and different things like that. So there's a lot of fuzziness there, which is supposed to be aired out at the DNC.
Pushing for a virtual roll call ahead of the convention itself, which could give us a presidential nominee by August 7th. And right now, the vice president is looking very likely to lock that in.
Hold on. So, real quick, the Democratic convention is August 19th, and that actually conflicts with certain states' deadlines for when they're supposed to have their nominations certified. That's one thing. The other thing is there's a lot of top Democrats that are saying no, she needs to go through a primary process. So we ain't gonna focus entirely on Biden. I mean on Harris. But what does this mean for these state races? And so this is an article that came up about Ted Cruz and Colin Allred, and this is in Texas. But these Senate races now, because the Democratic Party looks real questionable after all of this. It looks shaky. The Democratic Party doesn't have the presence that it had before because of this. Regardless of what you say, how you feel about whatever, that's the reality and the perception of what we're seeing. And so in this article, they talk about how this fellow was polling ahead of Biden in certain key places. And so there's room for, I guess, in some races where people feel like, oh, the Democrats can have an advantage because Biden dropped out. But I'm thinking it's the exact opposite. I feel like it's just going to be a bloodbath, as they say, of Democrats, because I don't feel the cohesion there. I don't see the love. But one thing we got to pay attention to with our races, with our local races, with shoot now Brenda Battle out here putting out signs for for putting out yard signs and whatnot. We're finna have, if she wins, let's just say hypothetically, she wins, we're gonna have a all red district down here. Because 154, 153, 150, all the rest of them, are controlled by Republicans. And so there's a couple points there to make, because me and Henry Mathis had a talk recently. We didn't get a chance to talk about David Sampson and that record, but we will. We're gonna have to at some point. But they, if what's this lady, Brenda Battle, actually gets in here and actually gets things accomplished, that might be better than the lack of action that we've seen from David Sampson. Regardless, there's that, because right now, if we look at it, and I'm scared to go look at the link right now to go see if there's been any bills proposed, because if you've seen previous lives, I went through it and talked about how David Sampson has been in this office for a couple years now and has proposed not a single bill. It would be different if he's proposed a bill and it didn't pass. He hadn't even proposed a single one. He's done resolutions and commendations for people, which are nice. And that, again, all of this is of course not a personal critique. And I say I'm buttressing for a bigger step up about accountability for our leaders. But when you have somebody that's not actually representing you or not doing a perceivable job, it is right to hold that a person accountable and say we need better representation. Now, I am, of course, y'all know I'm voting for Dr. Cornel West. I'm voting third party. I'm not voting for Trump or Harris, Biden, whoever the heck. I'm voting third party because it makes sense to do something different as opposed to doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. So, and I welcome that conversation all the time when people say, "Oh, voting third party, that's a waste of time." Oh yeah, we can do that another time. Anyway, I feel like we need to be very honest about what we're seeing and what these trends are in these political realms, because if you take a step back from party loyalty and you take an objective view of what all is going on, it looks like just the whole nation is taking a huge right shift in its political stance, not even necessarily in its political identity and how it presents, but just in the political makeup. It's taking a hard right swing. And strategy, I feel, for the Democrats, nominate Robert F. Kennedy. In fact, let me, and I wish I had queued this up. Let me cue this up. Let me do it. Let me search. Because Robert F. Kennedy press conference. Robert F. Kennedy is, of course, running independent, but he has he's polling 10, in some places 12%. Don't pause. I didn't ask you. And you, thank you. And so the Democrats, if they strongly get all the Democrats behind this man and he pulls his rest of his third party energy with him, that will beat Donald Trump. That's not a question. That'll be the majority of the country. So that makes sense. Putting Harris on this thing when Obama can't, endorse her, and you got let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's focus back down on down ballot. We've got other races in other states that we need to pay attention to, but particularly here in the state of Georgia, the Democratic Party, I feel, needs to take a hold of reality and figure out what they can do to strengthen their own identity outside of this Biden loyalty and outside of this Harris loyalty as well. Because granted, while we've seen like this swell of support from Black women and Black people entirely, and we see, which pisses me off, you Black people, y'all do this. You do this where you raise these millions of dollars. So much to unpack. There is so much to unpack, but I have to hold it because I have opinions that I know will hurt feelings of the Black women that I want to bring their children to Summer Splash. So bring your children to Summer Splash, and afterwards we will have this in-depth conversation about political identity and how it influences the minds of people in ways that are not beneficial to them. Oh, it's just taking a lot to hold in a lot. I just encourage everybody to remain woke as well. While people try to demonize woke and they try to turn it into some bad thing, it is good to be woke as opposed to asleep in a world full of sleeping people who follow trends. And we have algorithms that influence our minds to continue to follow certain trends. It is actually productive and constructive to be woke in that society and in that realm. So I commend people that ask questions, that don't just accept everything that they're fed, just because it looks good on the outside. Let me hold that right there. What I want to do, because and we're going to have a longer talk this evening too. I'm going to be back on with Mr. Terrence Fowler later. We're supposed to be scheduling something about 5 or 6 o'clock. And we're going to have a more in-depth conversation about all of this with JD Vance and what all that means. And we can unpack Project 2025, because there's a lot to talk about there. But what we're gonna do is switch on over real quick to this national news, and we're gonna come back and talk more about these races. But in national news, I want y'all to know what the heck is going on, because they're not putting this in they're not putting this in the American news. Hold on, go back, because America got to know about this. Share this tab, present. Boom. Share the tab. All right. Putin is arming the Houthi rebels against Israel. In fact, let me put it up like that. There you go. All right, press play. Let these people know what's up. All right. Because America was arming Ukraine, Russia is now arming the Houthis in Yemen that are fighting against Israel. So this is, in fact, yeah. Face back bigger. This is what we can see from Biden's leadership. Instead of de-escalating this thing, instead of listening to many people throughout the primaries who actually, campaigned against Biden and actually did what's the word? Protest votes against Biden and voted in Gaza on their in the primaries. Instead of listening to these people and de-escalating, he escalated, continued to arm, and now Russia is taking the next step, and they're arming the other side, just like they said they would. Russia is doing everything that they said they're going to do, and on the other side, unfortunately, America is not doing everything that they promised to do, which was not expand NATO. So what we're seeing here is a huge, what I feel, miscarriage of leadership. Yeah. So you see the headlines here. Let me the dramatic music is great, but yeah. All these billions of dollars, all these billions and billions of dollars that we've sent to Ukraine, and Russia is gaining territory in Ukraine. Hold on, let me tell you this here. Russia gains new territory in Ukraine. Y'all look this junk up, man. Y'all look this junk up. Oh man. New post. No. That ain't it. That ain't it. Where's it? Nah, yeah, a day ago. No. This ain't even it. This ain't even it. This is actually, actually, yeah, this is talking about it. Now that they're bombing Kharkiv. Look, the whole deal is Ukraine ain't winning this. Ukraine was never going to win this. They got on the news week after week and said, we're going to win this war. Ukraine is going to win, and da-da-da-da. We can do it. We can beat Russia. Knowing the whole time, no, you wasn't, and no, you couldn't. And so now you've got oh, my goodness. Ukraine drone his Russia off for fire. I don't know why I want to hear that. Nah, this ain't even what the heck I wanted to share with y'all, because, where is that? Go back. My phone ringing. Who calling me right now? I'm going live. Hold on. But, oh, it's right here. I'll talk to you later. I promise you. But listen, dog. All these billions of dollars that have been spent on what? Nothing. There's been no gain. And they apparently are going to seek no accountability for that. But that's part of what I feel is the Democrats' detachment from reality, where they feel like Americans can't see that and think that that is bad and have their opinions about it and say that, no, I don't agree with sending billions of dollars to an unwinnable war, an unwinnable conflict that we know that Russia has vowed that they're going to retaliate in various ways, and you continue to do it. That has consequences. And so, as opposed to being honest about it and addressing these things and saying, okay, you know what? That was yeah, that was bad, and we need to actually change our position on this, they doubled down. And so where's the benefit or incentive to vote for that? But they want us to cheer and celebrate because it's a black woman. Like, what are y'all doing? Anyway. All right, so let me share this tab right here. Hold on. Chill out. Hold on. So Russia and Iran too. What's more, Russia and Iran now then became even more friends, and they're out there sharing military arms and information. Like it's just wild, man. So this is going on. Hold on, dramatic music. Just dramatic music. All right. Consequences, dog. So what are we gonna do? Russia, I mean, what's his name? Trump is in favor of ending the war. Who all is in favor of ending the war? Show of hands. Who all is in favor of ending the war? You can vote in the comments. I'm in favor of ending the war. And Trump appears and has spoken about ending the war. Biden and Harris have talked about expanding the war, continuing to fund the wars. Where's the benefit in that? And if you are so gung-ho on voting Democrat, it is in everyone's best interest if you hold the Democratic leadership accountable for continuing wars that people don't want. That's not okay. It's not okay. And so when you're trying to have people be excited about, man, listen, dog. All right. Let me hold on. So beyond this, I don't know if y'all saw one of my other previous lives. Russia has parked a nuclear submarine in Cuba, in the Cuban Bay. Russia's parked a nuclear submarine. I just heard recently also as well that the U.S. responded by sending their own nuclear submarine to a Cuban port. Escalate. Like, why are we not holding these leaders accountable? And granted, like I said, I'm not a Trump apologist, and I'm not voting for Trump. I don't support Trump. So when I'm critiquing the Democrats because they're in power now, the Biden is the president, I'm critiquing just the realities of what we see here. We have an opportunity and have had several opportunities to de-escalate, to defund, to stop these conflicts in various capacities, but have repeatedly voted against it in the UN, voted against it elsewhere. Like, it's foolish. And so it's just absolutely foolish to think that there's not going to be some real consequences, dog. So, boom, exactly like that. They're warning them. In fact, okay, let me just pause. I want to take a quick stock, because most people that are voting for that are like, oh, we gotta vote Democrat, they're voting against Project 2025. They're voting against this conjured fear of Project 2025 and Trump coming in and taking all our rights. Here's what I want to explore with that. Let me move this out of here. Hold on real quick. For those that are voting Democrat because they're afraid of Project 2025 and afraid of whatever the Project 2025 says, I implore you, please do your research. In fact, let's do it right now. Hold on. Let's do it right now. Let's Google search, what does Trump, in fact, here, let me share this tab so y'all can, share this tab instead. We use the Brave browser here. What does Trump say about Project 2025? Let's see what it says. Oh, we're not. Oh, share it. Put it on screen now. Put it on screen. Boom. Put it on screen. Wow. All right. So this is what the Google said. All right. or Trump claims not to know who is behind Project 25. Fact checking. Blah, 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 blah. What is Project 25? Blah, blah, blah. No. Trump disavows Project 2025. This is from NBC News, which is left wing. So hold on, we're gonna look at that. What a second. Trump 2020 tracking the spider web of ties. Let's see it. Trump is trying to distance himself. All right. So from what we see from just the general search, in the Trump is disavowing it. He's distancing himself from it. That's just a quick search, real quick. Let's share this tab here. Hold on. Let's go back.
Project 2025. You've heard of it. It is a 900-page transition guide for how to overhaul and then run the executive branch. It includes ways to force a nationwide abortion ban, among a lot of other things. It's understandable that Donald Trump would try to claim he knows nothing about it, given that a nationwide abortion ban is so completely unpopular. But it's not convincing that he doesn't know about it.
All right, so let's unpack a few things here as this continues to play here. One, Trump obviously acknowledged that he knows that Project 2025 exists. Clearly, he knows some of the people that are involved with Project 2025. Some of them were in his cabinet. Some of them worked on his administration. So yes, there's that. However, let's be very real about a lot of things. One, the specific statement that he gave about abortion said that Project 2025 goes too far with abortion. And his stance was make it a state by state issue. He doesn't want the federal government determining, whether abortion should happen or not. Make it a localized thing, which is what happened with the Supreme Court when they overturned Roe v. Wade. Now it's down to the state levels, and the state legislatures determine by state whether abortion is legal or not. That's Trump's stance on that. That's what he's expressed. In other areas, like getting rid of the Department of Education, the Federal Department of Education, the Federal Department of Commerce, I agree with lowering bureaucracy, shrinking government. So does Trump. I'm not sure what that stance of the Department of Commerce is, or even what the Department of Commerce does, but I got to do some research and figure that out. I'm pretty sure that I would agree with getting rid of it, though. As far as getting rid of the Department of Education, the Federal Department of Education, very quickly with that, the reason why I support that is because when you get this federal money that comes down here, you get this federal No Child Left Behind, you get these federal whatevers, and it doesn't address the issues of how our children need to learn on a local level. It doesn't give room for teachers and boards, local boards to determine what needs to be taught for what's best for their community. And so getting rid of that and returning the education standards and returning the money that's sent to the federal government for that back to the states, we can keep that money there. We can spend it on what we need to spend it on and educate our kids the way they need to be educated. There's that in brief. What's more, after Trump got shot, we know what happened. He decided to shift now and become this more unity candidate and this more middle of the road moderate type thing that's talking about unity. He can't keep that position if he's supporting a Project 2025 in its entirety. Like I said, I agree with some parts of it. I implore people to, instead of just taking the fear bait and reading the headlines, actually read a little bit more in depth into it and see what the reasoning is for some of these things, because it makes sense with a few things. Of course, with abortion, it goes too far. With I'm trying to see what other points it was that I disagreed with. Releasing, like doing something against minorities, releasing certain protections for minorities and different things like that, I disagree with, obviously. In fact, actually, scratch that. I don't disagree with it entirely, because when we explore integration and we explore the long-term impact that it has had on the Black communities, Black businesses, Black enterprise, we know and see the measurable difference from when there was segregation and we had Black Wall Streets popping up, and now where we have a few exceptional Black millionaires and Black, business people. but that by and large does not translate to the larger Black community as it did back in the day. Now it's just exceptional Blacks here and there. And so by and large, though, the community doesn't have any footing and can't expand. So when you release those protections and those welfare agents that the federal government gives to Black people and keeps them dependent on the system, then Black people have to come together and build up on their own. So I support that. I support self-determination. And so the instrument to that sometimes is taking the pacifier out the baby mouth. The baby gonna cry, but shoot, that son can't suck on it the rest of his life. You got to learn how to live without it. And so there's that. And it might be rough. It will be rough. It might hurt some folks, but that's when we rally together. And like with the Birmingham bus boycotts, we come together, build our own new systems together, put our own taxi systems together, and we'll figure it out. But that's how then we strengthen the community as a whole. So Project 2025 sounds scary, but is it? Is it for real? And so one thing that I'm very aware of, and I think everybody's aware of, is that because the Democratic Party couldn't make everybody encouraged about Joe Biden, they had to make everybody discouraged and fearful of a Project 2025 and a Donald Trump. What also too I'm learning with Project 2025 is apparently it's been around since 81. It's been around since Reagan. Project 20, or rather, it's now Project 2025, but the manifesto that is built on the 900-page document has been built on and added to and added to and added to and added to. So it's not a new thing. And it's been around for decades. And so it just continues to grow as the conservative base continues to grow and develop their identity and what they feel and how they feel. What I said also too is that what this should trigger is for Democrats or third-party people or just any other political aligning people, put together your own Project 2025. Put together a Project 2026. Put your plan on paper. And if you're afraid of somebody else's plan, it's more than likely because you ain't got one and you feel unprepared. That's what that is. So you deal with that by becoming prepared. I have plans for this city. I have plans for Albany, Georgia. I got plans that, in fact, speaking of it, July 27th, we can't say that enough. This Saturday, make sure you're coming out to Summer Splash 5K. And that's gonna we finna get something chugging because this money that we have in this city, we know it is not spent the way it needs to be spent. We know we don't have the representation that we need to have here when it comes to the east and the south sides, getting the resources that they put in back to them. So how do we move differently? We have to do something different. Like if we continue to vote the lesser of two evils or vote because this person looks the part or they sound good and they don't have a plan, they don't have a viable, tangible plan, you're voting for destruction. You're voting for the same foolishness. We have to demand our leaders present a plan. And if they don't have one, then we need to give them one. Hence why we're planning the caucus. And doggone it, Demetrius Young, we got to talk later today, actually. We got to talk about Summer Splash stuff. Actually, shout out to the meeting that's at 1, something like that. Where we're going to finalize all the details. And I hope y'all bring your kids out there, sign the waivers, and all that fun stuff. Anyway, we need plans, and we can no longer afford to allow. Oh, man, this whole time I had the wrong brand up. It's okay. Hold on. I'm gonna fix it. Bow. Y'all ain't say nothing either. It's okay. Y'all ain't know. All right. So we have to demand that our leadership actually presents a plan, because leader, where are you leading us? Leader, where are you leading us? And it is not wrong to ask them. Hence why I'm glad that a lot of folks saw that engagement, that encounter that I had with Chad Warburton. And that's honestly what we need to be unpacking and talking about right now. In fact, what time we at? We had a 35-minute mark. We got some time. In fact, this last bit will be devoted to that in this local situation. But please do not be afraid, y'all, to engage with these local leaders. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They put their shoes on one shoe at a time. If you see these leaders out and you are unimpressed with their performance, let them know that, because you are paying them. The policies that keep, young Dedrick in the comments, the policies that keep Black Americans dependent on the government are by design. We must unite and support each other. If the government feeds you, they can starve you. Exactly. If the government houses you, they can make you homeless. If the government runs your schools, they can miseducate your children. There it is. Very well put, Mr. Dedrick. Listen, dog, hence why I'm always about self-determination. I'm always about building new systems. Building new systems is my whole, if we can just summarize Adam's political identity, or just political what's the word, engine, or just whatever, that building new systems, that's what it's all about, because the systems that we have are not serving us. The systems that we have are actually put in place to continue the need and the lack. And so, yeah, if we can do better, we need to do better. And doing better means doing different. We can't continue to do the same things and expect different results. So Summer Splash is an example of doing something different. I want to bring a water park to Albany because we don't have a water park here. It's something that we've been talking about and expressing to our leaders for many years. Like, in fact, since I was little, actually, it's been a conversation. Wild Adventures got the water park part to their park. Everybody's like, we could have had it, you know. So it's been a talk for a while. And so I said, well, shoot, since we don't have one, let me do something. We're gonna have a water splash something. We're gonna have a big thing. And so that's what's happening July 27th. Come out. We're giving away free food. We're giving away free water guns. I got a whole thing of water guns and toys and whatnot. Free stuff, back to school stuff from Hibbett, supposed to be out there. Man, listen, it's gonna be a time had. So make sure y'all come out and bring your kids. It's gonna be the last Saturday before school gets back in. But coming together as a community to steer the direction of the community, you have to do it. Why? And then back to this caucus. We're going to need community input and community involvement with this caucus, where we outline the issues that matter to us, and we then determine which candidates we're going to choose to push those issues forward. And so we're planning meetings as soon as mid-August, and we're trying to have something in line, hopefully before this November election, where people can actually engage in an Albany caucus, similar to a Democratic convention, where they nominate their candidates. We're going to nominate our candidates that we're going to be supporting, and we're going to do it consistently. And that is how we steer the direction of our community. Right now, ain't nobody in fact, the wrong people are at the helm of our community. And they do it with this smile on their face. Chad Warburton is so unassuming. Chad Warburton is so you know, just so what's the word? Earnest. He appears so earnest when he comes across. Come to find out, though, when you look through that exchange, everything he said to me was a lie, is what I'm learning. And in fact, I still got to go follow up with a few people to get the rest of the information. But what I'm learning is, when we had that exchange, and I asked Chad Warburton, I said, well, why did you vote down the housing development on the South Side? He said, well, we didn't get any information about what they wanted to build. And, you know, we had all these questions and we never got answers to our questions. Come to find out, Chad Warburton and the rest of the commissioners received a 50+ page document that was extremely detailed. It not only told what they were going to build, it told what materials they were going to use to build it. It talked about what it was going to cost, the timeline, everything. And it was very detailed. They got that months before several other votes to delay the vote. They had it. In fact, Chad Warburton, in one of these calls, is what I'm hearing, argued with the developers about the cost of the materials, or the materials themselves, or whatever needed to be used. So he was very well aware of the details and the information. What's more is they did not get any of that for the project development that they're building off of here in Gillianville. They have far less information and far less detail that went into what they're going to build here. What we're seeing, and the reason why I'm here, that was given to me as to why this happened, and also to I was told to pay attention to the fact that Chad Warburton abstained from the vote from the development on Gillianville, and what that means. Apparently, that means that there's some relationship that Chad Warburton has to the developers of development, and or he's related to somebody that has relationship to the development. And so they're taught when they're commissioners to abstain from certain votes like that to avoid legal prosecution. But you could still face some unethical, ethical thing. So yeah, it's very sad and very telling, because I had my first interaction with Chad. Actually, he did some twisted side neck talking mess to me the first time we ever interacted. And this was 2020, 2021, when we were getting that Biden rescue plan money. And I had put my name on the city's agenda to speak and to present the ideas of how they could spend that money for the community. And so he comes by the shop and he, as real interested in what I had to say. I tell him my idea and everything about the community gardens, developing some of these empty lots where we would make it self-sustaining, whereby it's a one-time investment from the city. It's not going to be something that the city has to continue to fund. We would actually use technology and different resources to make the whole thing self-sustaining. It was a beautiful plan, still a plan that we need to implement and pursue. Anyway, I tell him the whole deal. He got so interested. Oh man, that's great. You know what? Oh, we should consider that. We get to the city commission meeting. This fool vote to take the money and put it into the sewer project, and doesn't even acknowledge my plan and others' plans that came and presented and asked for money and how they could actually spend this money on the youth engagement, family and housing, utilities justice. Like, so many people gave practical, realistic, and needed solutions, and Chad Warburton, Langstaff, Jalen Johnson, and Mayor Bo Duro voted against it. So, and actually BJ was there at the time too. So yeah, but man, we have to hold these leaders accountable, y'all. Don't be afraid to engage with these people and get to the truth. And shout out to the people that have been sharing information, because and like I always say, it can't just be me, y'all. I'm when I'm out here and it's just me yelling, I look like the crazy angry black man. But if we're all out here singing in chorus about what we're seeing and what we're experiencing in this community with these leaders, then we can actually see some real change. But I'm doing my best, and I know too that y'all see it, y'all feel it, y'all are incensed, and some people don't necessarily know what to do or what to do about the injustices that we're dealing with. I have people in here all day yesterday. I don't know what it was, but like 4 or 5 people came in yesterday telling me different stories about their issues with the Doherty County Jail and the county and the sheriff's office and the APD and policing here in this community. And it's a lot to unpack with it, but the 2 of the first people that came and talked to me told me about people that died in the jail, their family members that didn't receive care and didn't receive the things that they needed, dying in Doherty County Jail, dying in custody. What was the other fellow? I can't even remember all it was just bad story after bad story after bad story. Hayes, I spoke with Hayes Friday at the East International Trojans banquet. I asked Hayes about the Jails to Jobs program, and he says he's going to get me on a committee that he's forming. But then he said something that was a little alarming, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, because I feel like I need to have another personal conversation with him before, because he hadn't taken office yet. But we need to really explore addressing the root issues and root causes of what's leading to crime and what's leading to the issues that we're facing, and it's poverty. Poverty is the root, is that root that is leading to people having to seek alternative means of getting money. If there were other alternatives and other means of making legitimate money, people would take it. And if there were ways of living without having to skirt the system, people would take it. But there aren't. And our leadership has not done a good job of facilitating this environment and making it a place that is attractive for commerce and business to thrive. There are examples that we have seen throughout this state that our leadership could feed from, could learn from, glean from, but they refuse to do simple things. Camilla is reinvesting back into his small businesses. Camilla is decriminalizing foolish things on the books that are siphoning wealth from the people. If you stop taking money from the people in various ways, the people have more money to spend, and they'll spend it right back into the local economy because they're right there. And they're not business owners. They're not business people. We need more business savvy leaders that understand investing directly back into your business, into your people, will produce the results. You have to water, you have to give the nutrients. And so, but what we see is, in fact, though, we're starving the east and the south sides and expecting it to nourish the north and the west, when in fact it's gonna have the opposite effect of where you're starving the south and east. So then the south and east is gonna come and cannibalize the north and the west, and we're gonna see it cannibalized through crime. So if you want to prevent and avoid crime, address poverty, address disparity. Leaders, please take out your pens at this point if you haven't already, because these are the jewels. These are the jewels right here. But and it's simple. We all know this stuff. That's the thing. If everything that I'm saying is not new, then our leaders know it too. And if we know that our leaders know these things, but they're still acting against them, what does that tell you about those leaders? They're not absolutely dumb and brainless. They're working with clear intentions. Their intentions are to disparage the people. And it's what's happening. When are we going to hold them accountable and say no, say stop, and get them out? I'm closing up on my time, y'all. I'm finna get out of here because I got to open the shop. I hope that there was something in this live that you found exciting, helpful, life-changing, and beneficial. There's so much else to unpack. I really want to, in fact, I need to find time. I know it's not going to be this week to talk about these conflicts and situations that are going on in Africa. There is a new young 35, 36-year-old brother over in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore. And this nigga is getting it done. He is kicking the France out, kicking Germany out, kicking the US out. Said, y'all can't mine our uranium no more. Y'all can't mine our gold, our precious metals. We're going to mine it ourselves. We're going to light up our streets because y'all have not done anything to pour back into our communities like you said you would. Y'all didn't hold up your contracts. So we taking these licenses back. Man, look up what the heck is going on in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Mali. They have made a three-state federation called the Sahel States, and they are getting it done, but they kicking them Europeans out. And I am so proud of them. And shout out to that work. They are becoming self-determining. They are getting it done, and they are being an example to the rest of the region. Nigerians now are seeing what's happening with their West African neighbors, and so Nigeria, as we know, is the diamond of West Africa, of Africa. It's the biggest commerce, it's the biggest population, and it's the biggest everything. We the best anyway. Man, listen, I can't even get into that. We're gonna talk more about what's going on in Africa and in Kenya with William Ruto in Haiti. They're sending Kenyan troops to Haiti. Man, listen, pay attention to national news. The U.S. president, whoever we determine to be the president, I really think is gonna be Trump. I don't think Kamala Harris can beat Donald Trump, and I don't think there will be enough cohesion behind whatever candidate is put up, unless it's possibly a Robert F. Kennedy. I feel like that's a realistic path to victory. But whatever. I think that the next president that we have needs to be someone that is aware and engaged with the global politics and de-escalating global conflict and facilitating global cooperation. Which candidates do you feel embody that? Which candidates do you feel are more about global cooperation, and which ones do you feel are more about global domination and keeping up conflicts? That's just its own question. I know what my choice is. I'm voting for Dr. Cornel West, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. I'm voting for y'all. I encourage everybody to vote for anybody besides Trump or Biden, or Trump or Harris, or Trump or whoever the heck. Stop voting for this one-party system. It is a two-pronged one-party system is what we have. Let's just be realistic. Let's be honest about the junk. They call them Republicrats for a reason. Like the two wings, left wing, right wing, two wings of the same bird. Like if we know these things, why don't we act like we know them? It's frustrating because we can look at reality and say, yeah, that is a big dog, and still walk over and get bit every year, every 4 years. Yeah, that is either I'm gonna have to get bit by this dog or get run over by a car. Like, nah. Anyway, whatever the heck. Yeah, you people, as opposed to saying I'm not gonna do either of those things, I'm gonna do something else. Why don't that make sense? And why is that the crazy thing when somebody says I'm not gonna line up to get shot or stabbed? I'm gonna go do something else. That person that says I'm gonna do something else is the crazy one. You niggas crazy. Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, the Bible talks about this, y'all. The Bible talks about this. When we see the masses doing something, the masses killed Jesus. There was only 12 disciples that was die hard for Jesus. Everybody else just like to come and ooh and ah and look, and they use Jesus for miracles. They sure got their miracles out there, man. But when it came down to it, they was like, kill that nigga. The masses killed the Savior. So what does that tell you about how the masses think? And if you are in the minority, typically you the right one. Stop doing the same junk. Stop following the masses and saying, well, we got to go with one of the lesser two evils. Y'all niggas killed Jesus. If Jesus was alive today, y'all the niggas that would kill him. The fools that's voting Democrat and Republican. You some sickos. I can't believe you. But shout out to that. Let me get out of here, dog. I was supposed to get off the line a long time ago. Y'all done got me riled up. But like, for real, I really want y'all to think. I wish people would think, because you don't think. And I encourage you, because the Bible does talk about this. The path to, to hell is wide, and many go by it. I need y'all to look in the mirror. Anyway, I love y'all. And I hope we do better. I got faith in y'all. Listen, man, let me get my store open. We open in like 5 minutes. Come see me at Easy Copy. I have actually, I'll be here. I'll be here all day. Anyway, 2 fingers, y'all. I hope y'all found this live exciting, life-changing, helpful. And like, share, comment, and engage in the conversation. Have these conversations with your friends and family. Do research. Don't just read the headlines. Don't be afraid of Project 2025. Put forward your own plans. Prepare and engage with these local leaders. Hold them accountable and let them know we ain't having it. 2 fingers.